What a crazy few weeks for Palantir. After dropping more than 40% since February, the stock rallied back 25% this week. With Palantir winning some major new contracts and developments on Palantir working with the IRS and Doge, some veteran traders feel the stock is massively undervalued at this price and have increased their price targets. Palantir as a company has shown incredible growth quarter after quarter, year after year, and we've finally seen that reflected in the share price over the past year. But now, market conditions, Donald Trump's tariffs, and a fear of a global recession have seen most stocks nosedive over the past couple of weeks. Warren Buffett is famous for saying, "Be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful." Before we get into the video, if you find any value in this, can I ask you to smash the like button? Literally costs nothing, but it helps the channel out so much. I'm aiming to get 500 likes on this video. Help me achieve that goal. For anyone that's new, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any new content like this. I'm not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice, so always do your own due diligence. Now, I've got a lot of comments over the past few weeks from people saying that they aren't getting notifications for my videos. So if you turn on notifications, make sure you set it to all. If it is set to personalized, then YouTube will decide whether or not you get a notification. You do not want this. Don't let an AI algorithm decide what you will and won't watch. So set this to all. Now let's get straight into it. Now later in this video, I will be looking at why tariffs would be a win-win for Palantir and why the stock is being upgraded to a buy. But the first thing I want to mention here, and this is an interesting one, Palantir is helping Doge with a massive IRS data project. For the past 3 days, Doge and a handful of Palantir representatives, along with dozens of IRS engineers, have been collaborating to build a mega API. Now, if we remember back to February, Doge was tasked with cutting Pentagon spending, and the Pentagon was aiming for $50 billion in cuts each year for the next 3 years, or roughly 8% of its budget. Now, at the same time, because of Palantir's billion-dollar contracts with the Pentagon, the stock tumbled on the news. In fact, Palantir stock dropped about 40% in the following 3 weeks. Now, I know that the IRS is not the Pentagon, but this development does raise some very intriguing possibilities. So let's take a look here. Doge is looking to build this mega API for the IRS. Should this project move forward to completion, Doge wants Palantir's Foundry software to become the read center of all IRS systems, meaning anyone with access could view and have the ability to possibly alter all IRS data in one place. Engineers tasked with finishing the API project are confident they can complete it in 30 days, according to Wired sources who have direct knowledge. Palantir has made millions in government contracts, and it's not that long ago that Alex Karp said that he foresees the company becoming a $3 trillion company. He also referenced the disruption of Doge's cost-cutting initiatives and said whatever is good for America will be good for Americans and very good for Palantir, with former Palantir workers having also taken over key government IT and Doge roles in recent months. Now, when it comes to the Pentagon, through partnership with Doge, the Pentagon is looking closely at its relationships and digging into major contracts that are running over budget and abnormally behind schedule. Just a few weeks ago, the Pentagon decisively terminated a massive software project built on Oracle technology after it ballooned $280 million over budget and fell dramatically behind schedule. More recently, the Pentagon has cut contracts with Accenture, Booz Allen, and Deloitte to the value of over $5 billion. Now, this is significant because they're looking to cut $8 billion per year. They have already cut over $5 billion, so they are more than 60% of the way. And instead of the initial fears that Palantir contracts would get cut, Palantir is actually working more with Doge now to implement changes. Between the cancellation of the Oracle contract and the $5 billion contracts with Accenture, Booz Allen, and Deloitte, Palantir has an opportunity to persuade the Department of Defense leadership to consider using its software ecosystem for other applications and use cases beyond the battlefield and stealth operations. Budget cuts at the Pentagon could be an under-the-radar tailwind for Palantir during the next 4 years, and one that the company is uniquely positioned to take advantage of, given its existing footprint with the military in particular. Now, this is a very interesting article on Seeking Alpha. Palantir upgrading to a buy, tariffs would be a win-win for Palantir, rating upgrade. Now, in order to keep this video short, I'm not going to go into this whole article. If you want to have a read of this, then there is a link to this in the description, along with links to some other very good articles that you really should take a look at. So first of all, we all know that Palantir's extremely high valuation. The company's PE ratio is over 450, but the recent market sell-off has brought the stock back to a relatively more reasonable level. Recent market dynamics call for a fresh look at Palantir's investment case because the company has seen an explosion in demand, causing an inflection in profitability and relevance. Now, before I look at how US tariffs could be a win-win for Palantir, Alex Karp did say that he foresees Palantir becoming a $3 trillion company in the near future. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. And it's expected that Palantir will be releasing their Q1 earnings report on Monday, May 5th. So guys, if you want to see a Palantir earnings preview in the next couple of weeks, then let me know in the comments. And make sure to turn on notifications, turn these to all, not to personalized, so that you don't miss out when I make this video. So tariffs and profitability. Trump's tariff gamble benefits Palantir in two primary ways. First, there's an important clause in the reciprocal tariff policy that US-derived components used in the final product will not be subject to tariffs. This gives the company an abundant incentive to deeply understand their global supply chains and pinpoint exact tariff treatment of their goods. Luckily for Palantir, it has software that is purpose-built for this type of use case. Even with the recent tariff pause, companies will be on high alert for understanding the global supply chain. In this scope, knowledge is power, and Palantir empowers organizations with the full context of their operations. Secondly, a higher for longer tariff environment incentivizes domestic manufacturing investment. This investment will be disproportionately directed towards robotics, AI, and automation, so that goods can be made in America without rampant inflation. The software used to manage these devices is a third-party order effect. Palantir again is in a prime position to pounce on this opportunity. And the third point I want to mention is geopolitical uncertainty, which increases demand for Palantir software. Supply chain complexity increases demand for Palantir software. Factory automation increases demand for Palantir software. Can you see the trend? The company is enjoying an outright explosion in demand during a historic AI-driven bull run. Despite short-term tariff-related volatility, the stock has held up pretty well, even considering the clear valuation risks. The simple fact is that Palantir's business is stronger than ever before. Even despite the current economic climate, Palantir has been announcing new customers on a very consistent basis. Only a couple of weeks ago, Palantir announced 6 new customers deploying Warp Speed to accelerate manufacturing capabilities and enable their advanced fleet management. Deals with Epirus, RCAT, Sales Drone, Saronic, SNC, and Ursa Major represent the most visionary leaders, technologies, and manufacturing operations. Palantir's head of industrials, Emily Nguyen, stated that we are extremely proud to enable the companies who share our sense of responsibility for the power of American production. The key word here being American production. Of course, the buzzword at the moment is Donald Trump's tariffs, which are based on exports to America. One of the focuses of the administration is to bring production back to the US. So these kinds of deals from Palantir are actually very good in the current economic climate. Now, obviously, a lot of companies, a lot of stocks are going to plummet in 2025 and some will never recover. But history shows us that the best companies always survive. Their competition, though, get wiped out, and when the economy turns back around, when the markets return to positive sentiment, it is these companies that survived. They are the major ones to prosper. And Palantir has a competitive advantage in its software architecture. They design data analytics software for commercial organizations and government agencies. CEO Alex Karp says that Palantir's key differentiator is its ontology-based software architecture, stating that we We have differentiated because in order to actually make AI work, you need ontology. Nobody else has ontology. There are reasons that Palantir's customers are increasing at such a rapid rate, that revenue is jumping 6 consecutive quarters, and that net income is rising at an extreme rate. Palantir also guided for 36% revenue growth in the first quarter. And the company is well positioned to maintain that momentum. As it says here, Forrester Research recently recognized the company as a leader in artificial intelligence and machine learning platforms. Palantir is quietly becoming one of the largest players in the market, according to analyst Mike Gualtieri. The International Data Corp estimates AI platform sales will increase by 40% annually through 2028. But Palantir does have some problems too. So what do analysts think of Palantir Technology stock? Well, at the minute, analysts seem to be very divided about the stock. The consensus price target amongst 24 Wall Street analysts is $75, with a high of $125 and a low of just $18. The stock has 5 sell ratings, 15 hold ratings, and 4 buy ratings. But we are yet to get any real updates from the big Wall Street analysts about Palantir, which is likely to happen as soon as they release their earnings report. However, one Wall Street trader, Stephen Guilfoyle, has been big-time bullish on Palantir, and the veteran trader noted that the technical picture has not changed dramatically recently. Guilfoyle, whose career dates back to the floor of the New York Stock Exchange of the 1980s, boosted his price target for Palantir from $110 up to $116. Now, I've been analyzing Palantir stock on the channel for more than a year. Back when the stock was under $20, I had a $50 share price valuation estimate. As 2024 progressed, that analysis grew to $80. But I'll be the first to admit that the price jumping to $125 in January was a surprise even to me with a very bullish stance. The drop back now into the 80s is quite attractive, and although a growth stock such as Palantir is likely to remain volatile in the short term, I think now is an interesting opportunity for long-term investors to consider Palantir shares, because I see the current negative investor sentiment around the company as overblown and misaligned. So as I said earlier in the video, if you want to see me do an earnings analysis preview, then drop a comment below. My pre-earnings analysis videos were correct all through 2024, and right now we are in uncharted territory with regards to the economic climate and government budget cuts. So this video will be a huge benefit. As soon as I get 500 likes on this video, I will start working on a Palantir earnings preview. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, these are just my opinions. This is not financial advice, and I'm not a financial advisor. But if you enjoyed this, then like and subscribe, follow me on X to stay up to date, and I'll catch you in the next video.